writing methods have evolved from really rather insane to begin with to slightly more sane now. When I started writing, I was writing about 2,000 words a day, and I became quite compulsive about this, and I wouldn't stop until I'd finished my 2,000 words. And even now, I do tend to set myself deadlines. I started writing everything longhand in pencil so that I could rub out any mistakes, make any changes, and then I would type up what I'd written. And to begin with, I wasn't able to create immediately on the keyboard. Now that I've become more fluent in my writing, I do find it easier to write straight onto the keyboard. It's so much quicker and it's so easy to change things. I'm so glad that I'm not writing in the days of Dickens when everything was handwritten with a quill pen, and if there were any changes, presumably the whole page had to be written out again. So I tend to scribble down a few notes and then sit down at the keyboard and type. Another thing that I did when I started writing, every time I had an idea, I used to worry that I might forget it, so I'd scribble it down. And after a while I found myself surrounded by scraps of paper with notes on that were absolutely illegible. And I then came across, I was listening to the radio, and I came across somebody talking about what he called the forgettability principle. And his idea was that if an idea was good, he would remember it. And if he forgot an idea, then it probably wasn't that great to begin with. And so I now follow that, and I think if I have a good idea, it's likely to stay in my head. I write fairly quickly. I tend to churn things out, and I then go over and I rewrite and I edit and I move things around for quite a long time. And writing, it seems to me, has two elements. One is the creative element, which is your ideas and your buzz and your excitement about it, and the fun of writing. And I do believe that if you enjoy writing, then people will enjoy what you've written. At the same time, there's also what I call the craft of writing, and this is where I'm not writing just for me because I've got a great idea and I want to write it down, but I also have one eye on my reader, and I'm very aware of the experience of reading what I've written for somebody else, or I try to be. It's quite difficult to do. So I don't want to spell too much out to my readers because then that gets a bit dull. But on the other hand, if the writing is too obscure, then readers are going to get frustrated and not know what's going on. So there's the creativity, which is a kind of outpouring of ideas, and then the craft, writing for a reader. And this is something that I think is a skill that can be taught and can develop. But creativity, I think you have it or you haven't.